Can already tell.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Know Your Shit podcast, where our knowledge and pride in what we do drives us in the pursuit of excellence. My name is Josh Cadillac, and once again, you're stuck with me in the driver's seat for today's show as we learn to stop chasing paychecks and learn how to start building a business we can be proud of as part of a life that we can be proud of. We have a great show for you today because we have a great guest, Mr. David Fullmer. David, thanks so much for being with us.
Aloha. How you doing, brother Jeff?
Doing good,
Josh,
man.
sorry.
Doing good. No worries. So, David, why don't you tell us what it is you do?
Well, right now I run roofing businesses. I built various different companies over the years. And I've just been through this life rhythm and been through a lot of personal development stuff. My dad was one of the first 20 employees of Stephen Covey, who wrote the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And so I love business, and I love not just entrepreneurship, but like self-accountability, self-awareness, and people really designing their lives and going after it and achieving that design and just being all they can be. I love watching it happen. I've seen it happen, and I love to help assist in that.
So, what got you started down this trail of entrepreneurship?
Well, I told you I grew up, my dad was doing seminars for Stephen Covey. So I used to travel around and be around Fortune 500 CEOs when I was a kid. I was usually in the back stealing coffee and donuts. But it really intrigued me that you could have two people from the same neighborhood or two people from the same family, and one super, super successful and super happy, right? Because true happiness is where success is found, not necessarily in a monetary amount. And the other people can just absolutely just wreck their lives or just struggle so hard. And so when I came to my own struggle, I realized I'm not a product of my environment. I'm a product of the way that I think. And that's what it came down to, is how that people think. High level humans think in 24 hours, in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, completely different to how other people think. So everyone's given around 60,000 thoughts a day, and other people use those thoughts to design, create. Others use it to run, to live in fear, to live in doubt, to be negative. So you're either thinking like a lion or running like a gazelle.
Yep, I got that. What do you like best about what you do, David?
Well, what I love best about what I do is watching someone excel and grow to their full potential. There's a saying my grandpa used to always say, if you'd ask him, Grandpa, how do you know when you're successful? And he would say, when you're just as excited about someone else's success as your own. It's really a tipping point in success when like for yourself, Josh, you're out here doing this podcast, shining light on all these people, these great thinkers and movers and shakers. And yeah, it's great and you enjoy it, and you probably get some self gratification, like in some monetary, whatever it might be. But your real joy is just knowing that you're being a part of changing the human experience for the better, and the ripple effect of that over time is just amazing, and that's what makes you feel good. So we're both in that same boat. I love watching people become successful. I love it. I live for it.
I'm with you, man. But we always talk about the good stuff. I want to talk about the bad for a second. What's the toughest part of what you do? What's the part that sucks?
Part that sucks is literally embracing just the worst parts of life. Like the sucky part of life is finding a way to find comfort in complete chaos, doubt, fear, and pain. Like, it's like, I love David Goggins when he talks about running that first ultra marathon, and he says to his wife, don't take me to the hospital. Go put me in a bathtub. I want to see how close it is to see how it feels to almost die. Right?
Yeah.
And that's an extreme, but if you can just sit in this absolute state of pain, close your eyes and really visualize and say, I don't know what's on the other side of this, but I know I'm going to be better. And I know this isn't happening to me. This is happening for me. And once you can embrace the shitty part of life, you start to truly become. It's not, you don't have to like it, but you have to embrace it. You have to say, this is my life. I accept this shitty, pardon my language, crappy part of my life. And I'm going to see what I can do to get out of it. I'm going to embrace it. And now I can move forward. And people they get stuck there. They can't, they're like, avoid.
Yeah.
Avoid.
So let me ask you this, David. Let's put a fine point on it, as we love to do on this show. What's the shit you know that makes you good at what you do? What is that for you?
For me, it's the absolute art of awareness in the very present moment, but having a handle on the past and having a handle on the future, but knowing I can't change the past nor the future. So it's kind of like it's a dichotomy, but it's the art of living with true perspective, brother Cadillac. Because I can tell you right now, any human being that can live with 100% awareness, live inside this matrix, but not be of the matrix, you start to bend time. You start to live more than one life in one life. You can live 3 lives in one because you understand how to bend time. And you start to fly like a plane to the mainland. I live out in Hawaii, and I just got back from Vegas. I was on a couple shows out there. I was on the Brad Lee show and the Sean Kelly show and a couple other ones. It was really, really cool experience, but it was an hour difference. But it's the same plane, same pilot, same distance, same elevation, same people on the plane, same amount of humans. So why was it different? Why did I time travel? I time traveled because there was a headwind versus a tailwind. And so we literally, through the way our thought process is and the way our mindset is, we create headwind, we create cortisol. Our bodies fire off on a different frequency when we put certain thoughts in them. So like we talked about those 60,000 thoughts, 80% of them are negative on average. So there needs to be a system or a process. You can't tell someone, oh, just think more positive. No. There needs to be a way where you take the negative thought, you examine it, you come to the conclusion that it's not as bad as you think it is. And even if it is, you have a plan for it, and then you move on. So the art is
I'm
not
getting
to
some,
have.
I'm getting some.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm getting some stoicism from what you're saying. The idea of, accepting the worst case scenario of what it could possibly, accepting that it's probably not going to be that bad, and kind of moving on, making peace with it to some extent. Am I hearing that correctly?
100% meditation's all the way. I mean, the minute you rip the king's clothes off and you go into the boogeyman, like I lost everything. I was multimillionaire by the time I was 28. I owned multiple properties in multiple states. I was working on a 400 home development here in Hawaii, and I never even knew what a recession was. Best thing that ever happened to me is have my rug pull and just completely lose everything. Carpet bomb, my whole business got carpet bombed. I had no idea what I was doing, because I didn't even know what a recession meant. I knew it didn't sound good, but I was in this learning process. And so, yeah, I mean, you have to, at some point, you have to understand that there's never a destination. There is to pull you in a direction, but once you get there, there's just another hill to climb. And so it needs to be all about, the focus needs to be all about what I'm becoming, not what I'm getting, not what I'm making, not my accolades, not the framed picture on the wall, nothing. Every decision has to be based on one thing. What am I becoming as a human being? Because you can give someone the trophy.
Yep.
You know?
No, that's the very core premise of virtue ethics, is the idea that every choice makes you slightly different as a person, and the
100%.
idea with that is
100%.
always this idea of, who am I becoming? How is this choice changing me? What is the version of that on the other side of that choice, is a version that's closer to who I'm looking to be? So yeah, no, it's a thing. What in your journey as a business person, David, was the thing that wound up being harder than you expected, or the thing that surprised you about how hard it was?
To be able to let things go when things don't go your way, to really live with a certain acceptance that, people are going to betray you in business. People are going to try to knife you in the back, steal your ideas. It's a real dog eat dog world in the business world. And once you shift and you let those things happen and around you, and don't stop trying to control them or make everybody accountable, hold everybody accountable, and you just really hold yourself accountable and look in the mirror more than you look at everybody else. I've noticed there's like this like bank of the universe. There's just like this special protection bubble that I noticed started coming around me, where everything always came around to save me at the right moment. Like, because I was living with the right perspective, and I didn't just go out of my way to like ruin relationships or presume to know exactly what this person was doing when they did what they did, and really just focus on what I can control and being a good human being and letting the chips fly. That's hard, because when you're young, you're full of piss and vinegar. Like, I've been in jiu-jitsu for 15 years, and I'm a very competitive guy, whatever you want to call it. And there was, when in my younger days, I made a lot of mistakes, and I lost relationships over, worrying about who was right instead of what was right. And so, yeah, I think, just really focusing on what you can control and being less judgmental of other people's mistakes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Where would you say all the success came from for you, David? What would you track it to?
True success I would track it to 100 failures for every real true success. Because success is like a funny thing. Everyone wants to talk about, okay, what are you successful? How do you quantify that? Like, how do you quantify real success? Is it a dollar amount to you? Is it your impact? And I think true success is the ability to go from failure to failure to failure to failure and not lose enthusiasm. Because if you can do that, then that's when you stand on the stage with the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, the Elon Musk. That's when you become superhuman. Because although the only difference with these high-level humans, true superhumans, is they never lost enthusiasm when things didn't go their way. That's life. They just kept getting up, and getting up. Next. It doesn't stop. I do not stop. I will not stop. Nothing will stop me. That just happened to me. No, it happened for me. Thank you. Build. Because from every tear of the muscle becomes new fibers, and you're building your empire. So what happens is God beats the living crap out of you, okay, in the marketplace. Then he builds you so strong from tearing you down to the dust of nothing, so that when you come back, you're so strong, so the weight to which you can hold is 10 times greater than what you thought you could hold when you were going through all that crap.
Absolutely.
So again, it's the true success is me losing all these things, losing friendships, having complete betrayal. It's like Jesus doesn't make it to the cross without Judas.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Jesus embrace Judas? Why? Because he knew it was part of his process of being the greatest philosopher,
part of what he had to do.
Journey.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, again, we're back to it. I mean, I'm getting chickens and skins right now driving down H2 out here in Honolulu, dude, talking to my man.
Yeah.
The Cadillac.
So let me ask you this, David. I know that you've written a book. You have a book it's coming out, or it is out.
It's out on Amazon. It's called Becoming 7: The Superhuman Rhythm.
Okay. And so what made you write it? Who did you write it for? Who's the person that needs to read it?
Well, all humanity. I mean, you're looking at the average person will affect 40,000 people in their lifetime. Okay, so, and Josh, you're not average. You're above average. You're talking to people every day. So I'm going to guess you're going to be, you're going to be changing a lot. Your ripple effect is going to go generational. And what happened is I was conflicted. Like I told you, my dad, I really was into the 7 habits and kind of got into Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn. I went down an absolute rabbit hole, and I ended up at Marcus Aurelius Meditations. So I started with all these Earl Schoaf, Napoleon Hill, Jim Rome. Like my dad, like I was just introduced at such a young age. And when I got put in youth corrections and went through a ton, I mean, I moved 27 times by the time I was 17. You know, I never was able to hold on to a friend, kind of a gypsy lifestyle, and come from a family of 13 kids. And so it was quite a challenge. So I went in my teenage years, I would rebelled and, got locked up 12 times and got sent away, got taken from my family and put in a group home. And there was some soul searching there that I had to find out, like, wait a minute, what do I want out of this life? And that's when I started studying. And then through my business career and just helping, I've trained, thousands of sales professionals in the roofing space over the decades. And so I was like, you know what, my joy is to really help people set goals and go after things. So I a few of the days of the week. So in a nutshell, what I did is I there's so many different programs, from 5 steps to this to 4 steps to that. And I understand the way humans memorize things, and that we have blood memories and generational brain tracks. The average person has 4,098 grandmas and grandpas DNA inside them. And so that vibration is generational. It goes way back, and we all have different emotions on different days of the week. Like, you wouldn't know, on average, the most heart attacks happen from 6 to 12 o'clock on Monday morning than any other time. And it's not based on your ethnicity. It's not based on your cholesterol level. It's based on, you don't know why you're on the planet Earth and why you have the job you have, and you're super stressed out. Right?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And so collectively as a human race, we're all stressed out on Monday. So why not create a program that's easy to memorize? And that's what I was thinking. And I had these days that I was living, like, I come from a religious family, a Christian family. So Sunday was always a day to go to church. And I was like, well, Monday, everybody's having heart attacks. Wednesday's whisper in the wind. I'm like, so then I just went on this rabbit hole, and over a decade, I created this rhythm that was so easy to remember, so simple. I mean, it's like meditations. They're deep, but if you really look at everything that Marcus Aurelius puts out, or what Jesus talked about, is so simple. It's like Jesus spoke of chickens and goats and a hen gathering her children, and it's like, I think we try to overcomplicate things.
All the
And so I
time.
wanted something simple for people to just wake up and go, oh, this is my intention. And what happens is they get in this rhythm, and your body starts firing off, and you get such a good tailwind that you just get into the flow. And so that's where B said.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. So let me ask you this, man. What would you say is the most important thing you've learned in the process of doing all that you've done? I said, what would you say is the most important thing you've learned in the process of doing all that you've done to you? That's it, man. Got to fight the good fight. So I want to enter a little bit of a lightning round with you. Just kind of get your first take on some of these questions. Curious to see how you'd answer them. What would you say you are most proud of in business you've accomplished? All right, good stuff. Similar question, but more personal. What do you think? What are you most proud of in life you've accomplished? Good stuff, man. One piece of advice you'd give our listeners. Okay. Tough question, David. What's the one book? What's the book? You say to anybody, like, hey, and it can't be your book. That's the one caveat. What's the one book you recommend to people? The book that they got to read. If you read anything, you got to read this. All right. Okay. Similar question, but maybe a little harder. Favorite movie of all time? What's the movie, David? If it's on, you're not changing the channel. Told you, man. A good film. I don't blame you. Famous person in history you'd want to meet if you could. Yeah, who's that person for you? Okay. Person from your similar but more personal. Person from your past that you, if you could, you'd want to sit down with and have lunch with today if you could. Who's that person for you? Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. What? Yeah. What's one piece of advice you'd go back and give a younger version of you, David? Okay. Last question I have for you, buddy. where can people that want to find you and find your book, where can they find you? Where can they find the book? Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. David, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was great chatting with you, hearing about your book, and listening to you talk, man. Thank you. And I want to thank all of our listeners, guys. Thanks so much for spending your time with us. We know your time is valuable, and as I remind you every time, there's never a good excuse not to know your shit. Till next time.